A very good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining us for the second session of State Startup Ecosystem Showcase Series. My name is Chahat and I'm from Startup India at GIT Government of India, and we are excited to have with us Mr. Dipinder Dhillon, Joint Director Government of Punjab and Head of Punjab Startup Cell. A very warm welcome, sir. Thank you for your precious time, and we're all very excited for this session.
Thank
We
you
have
so much.
embarked, Thank you, sir. We have embarked on a one-of-its-kind journey of collectively working towards a national agenda of capacity development of the startup ecosystem. In our federal structure, states and UTs play an indispensable role, and it is a collective key objective for center and states to develop capacities of ecosystem enablers and stakeholders to promote a more inclusive startup ecosystem. We had an amazing inaugural session last week with the guest state Karnataka, and today we are excited to have the land of five rivers, Punjab, with us to share insights and good practices from their startup ecosystem. Our guest state for the session today, Punjab, the land of chivalry and cheer, known from its mustard fields to the spirit of service of its natives. The state has been undertaking incremental measures to fuel the entrepreneurial spirit in the state, which has led to rapidly growing and expanding startup ecosystem. Representing Punjab, Dipinder sir has been associated with the state government for more than 29 years, and in addition to heading the Punjab Startup Cell, he is also the sector officer for IT, ITES and electronics. For a glimpse on the growth of Punjab startup ecosystem, we have a short video on his journey before I pass on the baton to Dipinder sir for the much awaited session.
Government of Punjab has taken several initiatives to develop Mohali as an education and an IT hub. Over the years, due to government initiative, various premier institutions and well-known national institutions have opened their campuses in Mohali and around Mohali in Punjab. Notable among them are IIT Ropar, ISB and Mohali campus. Then you have ISER, you have NIPER and so many other institutions that have come up. To support the startup ecosystem in IT and ITES, Government of Punjab has collaborated with Ministry of IT, Government of India to set up an incubator with the name of Neuron in Software Technology Park of India with the financial support from Punjab government. This incubator is also providing R&D research and services in data analytics, in AI and similar areas of IT and ITES. To support the startup ecosystem further, Government of Punjab has also decided to set up a Punjab Innovation Mission and Punjab Innovation Fund.
Neuron is a joint effort of Government of Punjab, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Software Technology Parks of India and other stakeholders from this region to make sure that we provide world-class laboratory facility, mentor pool, access to capital and market and know-how for the young boys and girls and upcoming entrepreneurs in the field of this AI, IoT, data analytics, AVG. I am very glad that this Center of Excellence, which is being called as Neuron, is going to serve the young boys and girls in the entire region in terms of providing them world-class facilities and everything that is required in order to make sure that their ideas are converted into the product. I am very glad and I must say that the second round of challenge program is being conducted and I would invite all of you to participate. Thank you.
Being a startup state nodal officer, I am very happy to share some of the initiative taken by Government of Punjab to promote startup ecosystem in the state. We have established a startup hub called Neuron in association with STPI Mohali, and we had already tied up with various angel networks like TIE Chandigarh, Chandigarh Angel Network, etc. We have very attractive incentive policy which is called Industrial and Business Development Policy 2017, which offers very attractive incentive to startup.
This was a fascinating video capturing the glorious achievement and measures undertaken by the state on its illustrious journey. Now, without further ado, may I welcome and request Dipender sir for a presentation on the good practices adopted by the state government for its startup ecosystem. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chahat. First of all, at the outset, I would like to thank Startup India for giving the government of Punjab an opportunity to showcase the efforts which we are making towards development of a thriving and a growing startup ecosystem in the state. As you are aware, the state of Punjab is known for its entrepreneurial spirit by its people, which brought the green revolution and made Punjab a great hub for giving the food grains to the whole country. Now we are transitioning to a knowledge and a technology-driven enterprise by developing a new culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, which we recognize and appreciate that it's very important for the future growth of the state's economy as well as for the employment generation. For the same, we have startups and entrepreneurship as one of the key pillars in the industrial and business development policy, which we have notified. So, can we go on to the next, please? Can we go on to the next slide, please? Yes. So first of all, I would like to highlight the strategic location of Punjab as a great investment destination, as a great place for startups to start their business out here, and with all support from the government of Punjab. We are hardly 250 kilometers, which is just around 3 hours drive by road, and just around 20 minutes of flight time from the national capital. With just around 1.5% of India's land area, we contribute 3% to the India's GDP, which speaks volumes of the productivity and the hard work which is being put in by the people of the state. We are known as the food bowl of India by producing 25% of the rice and 35% of the wheat share in the central grain pool. In tractors, we are the largest tractor manufacturing state. We account for 29% of India's total tractor production. In bicycle, again, we are the leading state with 75% of the bicycles and 92% of the bicycle components. In textiles, again, we have a leading edge with being the biggest hosiery woolen, 65% manufacturing state. So, the idea behind is to just give you a snapshot of the kind of things, especially with respect to the industrialization and the productivity of the state. Specifically in Punjab, we are, we are seeing that Mohali is really rapidly growing, not only as a great IT destination, but also in terms of pharmaceutical, in terms of startups ecosystem as well, due to a number of reasons. We are having great connectivity because Mohali is having the international airport also, and we are very low in the operational overheads. In case we see the monthly, rental of approximately 7,000 rupees monthly rental average, with around 40% of possible discount, depending on the nature of operations of the startups. In case the startup is into development work and into IP work, then the maximum discount is applicable. And we also have on very low the minimum wage for skilled labor available. We have great skilled talent available in the region, with the great premier institutes like IIT Ropar, Indian School of Business, INST, NIPER, ISER, etc. And compared to the tier 1 cities, another thing which we have analyzed and seen out here is that we have very low iteration rates. We have employees, long duration employee loyalty and association with the company in its growth story, definitely helps a lot. And we have very low attrition compared to other tier 1 cities. We have a great innovation support center, like I told you, with the premier institutions like ISER, ISB, SACC, NAVI, and also the biggest STPI in India in 1.5 lakh square feet of area, which is in Mohali. So this is a great support provided to us by these innovation and other support centers. With respect to the general snapshot of the startup ecosystem, we have 500 plus startups which are actually known to us. I'm sure there would be plenty of others, but the budding entrepreneurs and others which have not really, they really do not meet the definition of the startup as such, but nevertheless they are doing great entrepreneurial work. We have 30 plus mentors which are there in our Startup Punjab website. Incidentally, I'll just, we have already notified a policy wherein we are giving a lot of incentives to startups. We have a website, we have a Startup Punjab body mandated by the Government of India and the startup cell within that, of which I am a member, and my colleague Mr. Hadeep is also here with me here. So we have 23 incubators which are doing a wonderful job all across the states, some of them government, and I'm happy to share many of them private as well, which are working with us hand in hand in development of this great startup ecosystem. We've had very impressive funding happening to various startups, in the last couple of years, around 14 million USD. More than that translates to more than 100 INR crores. And we are also in an endeavor to propagate and disseminate and create awareness of various state government initiatives and policy measures undertaken by us for helping startups. We have had more than 20 plus outreach programs facilitated by the Government of Punjab, and in which I am again happy to share, and I am grateful that Startup India was a partner in many of them, and also great institutions like TAI, Chandigarh Angel Networks, and so on and so forth. All these bodies who are working in the region relentlessly with us hand in hand for development of the startup ecosystem have joined hands with us, and we have gone around the state and by startup yatras, by boot camps, by awareness camps, to try and make everybody aware of the various policy measures and initiatives taken by us as well as Startup India for this great aim. So we have some great top players like Agnest, MoveFarm, Jugnu, Vitreya, Tax Security, Trishnita Arora in cyber security is a well-known figure, and we are proud to have people, great personalities like Sunil Bhati Mittal, Sachin Bini Mansal, Bhavnesh Agarwal, Sabir Bhatia coming out of this region in terms of Airtel, Flipkart, Ola, and Hotmail. Next, please. We also are having very good support from funding partners like Chandigarh Angel Networks, Kalari Capital, Omnivore, Paytm, who have invested in, and Paymart, Agnest around 4 million, Jugnu 10 million, and Tax Security, Move Farms have done us proud in this AIC ISB incubated startup. A2P Energy won $100,000 in sustainable energy category during the Global Makers Challenge in Russia. the Tax Security won Cyber Security Startup of the Year by InfoSec Bridge Products in San Francisco. Move Farms, again, facial recognition of cattle, won $30,000 from World Bank Group entity in data analytics category in 2019. So these are some of the examples which we are just highlighting. There are many more at a slightly different level, but again doing a wonderful job for and getting global recognition for the great efforts. Next, please. Like I said, the government of Punjab, we took out our industrial and business development policy in 2017, the guidelines of which were notified in October 2018. I do appreciate and I acknowledge that though we were a couple of years late compared to other states in taking out this policy, but we definitely had the advantage of taking the feedback and getting to know what exactly is required for the startups and getting the feedback for that. And as a result of that, we are able to take out a policy in which we have stipulated seed grant of up to 3 lakhs, interest subsidy up to 8% for 5 years, reimbursement of lease rental up to 3 lakhs per annum, 100% exemption from stamp duty, electricity duty, financial assistance to finance and technology and market for various events or showcasing events which the startups would like to participate. And most importantly, we have a host of large, I would not like to, it's not possible in this time constraint to list out all the incentives under the MSME. In the policy, we have stipulated and stated that all incentives of MSME would also be applicable to the startups. So again, just briefly covering the fiscal incentives for incubators, we have a capital grant of 100%, 1 crore for government incubators, 50% up to maximum 50 lakhs for private incubators. Again, operational subsidy 3 lakhs per year for 5 years, mentoring assistance 3 lakhs for a period of 5 years, startup competition assistance 5 lakhs per event. Now, these are some of the incentives. We are having a multi-pronged approach. We are doing a number of things like we also have set up a 100 crore fund in the Punjab Technical University, wherein not only the startups who are incubated within the campus, but also any startup in Punjab would be able to avail of various seed money and soft loans from against this fund for helping them grow. Next, please. We also, like I shared earlier, we are having a participative approach. We are, one of the enablers for the growth of the startup ecosystem. We are very actively and very, energetically supported by various great institutions where we are having incubation facilities all over the state, like Punjab Technical University, Jalandhar. They are having incubator in biotech, IT, education. We are again having in PAU, which is focusing on agri and agri-tech food processing. We are having in Thapar University, Patiala, which is having strengths in agri, biotech, biofertilizers, life sciences. IIT Ropar is again into manufacturing, waste management, chemicals, and this is just to name a few. This Atal Innovation Center in ISB Mohali is again focusing on agriculture, healthcare, ISER in IT and sciences, NIPER in chemical, pharma, biotech, NABI in food, F&B, agri, biotech. SACC is again sector agnostic. And again, coming back to STPI Mohali, which is primarily focusing on IT, ITS, AI, and IoT. So we have around, like I shared earlier, around 23 incubators and accelerators, working relentlessly towards, helping startups in their growth story. Next, please. Now, like I shared earlier, we have formed the Startup Punjab. And through the Startup Punjab, we have formed the Startup Hub Punjab, which is branded as the Neuron in the STPI Mohali premises, which is basically a partnership between Government of Punjab, STPI, Government of India, Punjab Technical University, and ISB. Now, this is in 1.5 lakh square feet of area. It is the largest STPI in the country. It is having a tier 3 data center which is having a lot of compute power, and we understand that 99.999% availability, which is a great service for the IT and ITS, various services and the data hosting requirements by such companies and startups. They are having mentorship facilities, they are having funding facilities. It's a beautiful, secure, 24 hours operational green building, in which is having centers of excellence in artificial intelligence, data analytics, IoT, AVGC, and also recently, in an effort to promote the hardware design also, we have set up a center of excellence in microelectronics and application-specific IC design, which is a partnership between the government of Punjab, the STPI, and the semiconductor lab, which is the only ASIC manufacturing facility in the country. So we are, we have children here working in state-of-the-art design, hardware design, CMOS design, Schottky diodes, latest chips manufacturing, VLSI design, and all those, the wonderful things which we, hear of, that is being done out here. It is having a 500-seater incubation facility, and it currently houses around 60 to 70 startups currently. And it's on a cyclic process. The older startups move on, grow in the growth story. And we are happy to share that many of them have actually then later on purchased land from the state governments at subsidized rates, at controlled rates, and they have set up their own campuses, and they have moved on. New startups come in. They are again nurtured, and helped in their growth story. Okay, next please. So one of the most important pillar of the startup ecosystem is research and development. In case we can help the startups in their efforts to develop prototypes, to develop solutions, to fine tune their software products, and so on and so forth, we will be doing a job. So for that we have 89 engineering colleges, 300 ITIs, around 80 MBA colleges, and we also help the startups through the Punjab State Council of Science and Technology through their IP support center in filing of patents, design, trademarks, and copyrights. So we also help them, commercialization and technology transfer and licensing in terms of TOT and other mandatory requirements, which the startups don't have very much legal knowledge, and how to protect their ideas, how to get transfer technologies, and so on and so forth. So we have a great, center under the Department of Science and Technology, Government of Punjab, the Punjab State Council, which helps them in these activities. We again, have various centers of excellence spread across the state. Google Center of Excellence in LPU Jalandhar. Another upcoming Center of Excellence in AI Center of Excellence again at LPU Jalandhar. We have Microbial Biotechnology Research Center, IM Tech Chandigarh. We have AI Machine Learning and Research Center, IIT Ropar. This is in collaboration with NCCU Taiwan. And we have again R&D and Student Exchange Program at Thapar, which is having a tie-up with TAU Israel. In ISB Mohali, we have Bharati Institute of Public Policy, the Munjal Institute of Global Manufacturing, the Infrastructure Management, Max Institute of Healthcare Management, and all at ISB Mohali. So we are, and this is in addition to the various centers of excellence which we have shared with you earlier, and we have a couple of other centers of excellence in ESDM manufacturing and IT in agrotech, which we are very hopeful would be approved soon by the Government of India. Next, please. All this is, the efforts are, augmented by the fact that we have Invest Punjab, which is, similar body to Startup Punjab, which helps all businesses to apply for and help to set up under a single window, under a single roof, under a single body. So any startup or any business which wants to start, they just have to apply to Invest Punjab on the Business First portal and go nowhere else. All powers of various regulatory departments of the Government of Punjab are vested in the CEO Invest Punjab, and this Invest Punjab gives all clearances without the investor having or the startup having to go anywhere else to any other department in the state. So we have surpassed the national average in simplified regulations by the state's ranking in 2018. And like I shared with you earlier, we have a dedicated startup cell where we have a small registration process wherein all the startups apply to us online. We forward the applications to some reputed nodal agencies. Based on the recommendations, we give the recognition to the startups. In addition, as per we understood that a startup will not have past turnover and past experience when they apply for various government tenders. So understanding this fact and appreciating this fact, we have the government of Punjab in this purchase preference policy by the controller of stores has exempted the startups from past experience and past turnover in all tenders floated by the various government departments. So this move has also been widely welcomed by various startups in various fields. Next, please. Having a wonderful policy and various initiatives, by whether it's by the Startup India or Startup Punjab, there's not much use unless we disseminate this information throughout the state and create awareness so that people working in islands of isolation are brought into the mainstream. They become aware of the various help, incentives, mentorship, fiscal and support being provided by the Government of India and the Government of Punjab. So towards that, we have done two statewide yatras, again in collaboration with Startup India. We have, we have done various programs like Climate Launchpad, in ISB Mohali. We keep on doing various hackathons like this event in September 19. TiECon is another event which we actively participate, whether at Delhi or by TiE Chandigarh. We have another event, in fact, being organized by TiE coming up in the second week of March, which we would like to invite Startup India and other startup ecosystem players to please participate in and participate actively. And we have entrepreneurship conclave. We have had funding events. We have had Progressive Punjab Summit organized by Invest Punjab, which we got a very great, overwhelming response by various investors coming in. Specifically, since I look after the IT sector in Invest Punjab, IT and ESDM, I'm very happy to share that we have had more than 200% increase in investments in the IT and the ESDM sector in the last 2 years, year on year. So Mohali is really a happening place, beautiful infrastructure, the road, the international connectivity, great schools, great hotels, great roads, and we have had almost around 60 IT companies coming in almost on a yearly basis and setting up their campuses and operations in Mohali. So I think this wonderful climate, the weekend getaways in the in Shivaliks and other the quality of life, the low cost of operations, all these factors are really helping Mohali emerge as a great destination, not only for IT but I'm sure for startups also in the future. Next, please. So some of the, these are just suggestive. Of course, ultimately the startups and the companies working in investment and areas and realizing the new normal and the opportunities arising from the same therein would be in a better place to see and appreciate the new areas of and opportunities emerging. But nevertheless, we would like to suggest that agri-tech in precision farming, tech innovation to eliminate crop burning, multi-cropping, and crop staggering and so on and so forth, and crop disease detection and management for early remedial measures, and in IT, IoT, AI device technology, again used for various applications like AgTech, prepaid smart meters, consumer APIs, and POS and so on and so forth. In automobiles, again, we have a lot of applications for electric driven tractors, innovation in cars, pollution, automatic driven cars, and so on and so forth. Health tech and pharma are another emerging areas where we are seeing a lot of investments in the state. Food processing, again, it goes with the strength of the state. So fintech, biotechnology, textiles, logistics, renewable energy, the list can go on and on. There are fantastic opportunities available for startups and investments in the state of Punjab. Next, please. So these are a list of some of the various incentives and the measures which we have offered for startups additionally in over and above those mentioned in our policy. First 100 startups we will reimburse the state component of the registration cost. We also realize that budding entrepreneurs find it difficult to focus on their academics as well as work on their ideas, so that tomorrow they don't become job seekers but become job creators, which is really very important for our country and as well as for the state of Punjab. So we have initiated measures and introduced this scheme wherein they are provided 20% attendance relaxation and 4% grace marks for students who are incubated in those institutions and are working on great ideas for generating employment and developing the economy for the times to come. We also are recognizing that in many institutions where we are going, the students are having ideas but have not yet formed their companies and do not meet the technical or the official definition of startups as defined by the Startup India, which we have also incorporated as such within the state of Punjab. So we are having a process of recognizing, registering budding entrepreneurs and connecting them with mentors so that they can become startups of tomorrow. We also, like I shared with you earlier, we have set up a 100 crore fund, which the details of which I have shared earlier, please. Can we go on to next, please? Another great development is that we have set up the Punjab Innovation Mission and the Punjab Innovation Fund, which is going to be a 150 crore fund, and even the Punjab Innovation Mission is going to be a privately led initiative, though of course the mission is going to be supported by the government of Punjab. There are some fiscal supports which we will be giving them. They will be housed in again a very premier and a very strategic location in Mohali, right around 1.5 kilometers from the international airport, and the current it will be headed by Mr. Pramod Bhasin, ex CEO Genpact, and other great personalities who have really done wonders in their careers and life, and have finally they have agreed to support Punjab in its journey for the startup ecosystem development. So we are very happy and we are very excited. They will be bringing in this fund for 150 crores, which will be a kind of the next third or fourth level funding happening at during the growth of the startup. As also they will be bringing in the global connects for supporting these startups through industry, through mentorship, and through other various other means possible. And we will be working hand in hand, like with the Startup Hub. The Startup Punjab will be very actively supporting this great initiative. So we have given startups public procurement and in terms of past turnover and experience waivers, and we are very actively supported by various Government of India bodies like Startup India, the METI, academic institutions like IIT Ropar, ISB, Chandigarh Angel Networks, TIE, Google, Infosys, Boss Ladies for women entrepreneurs, even the FICCI Flow organization in Amritsar. We are very actively working on, because we understand the importance and we are very keen to help women entrepreneurs, especially in their journey for in Punjab. So I think that's about it. Thank you so much. Over to Startup India, Mr. Chair, Charles.
Thank you so much, sir. This was such an enriching, exciting, and insightful presentation. The presentation, sir, beautifully captured in a nutshell the journey of Startup Punjab. And sir, we would be very delighted to ask you two questions for our viewers to have more understanding of Startup Punjab. So, sir, the first question would be if you would like to put up in a nutshell as to what has been really done right to develop the startup ecosystem in Punjab, if you can share quick insights into that.
With the Government of India, the voice was breaking. Yes, see, like I shared with you earlier, this couple of initiatives like the Center of Excellence in STPI Mohali in AI, data analytics, machine learning. All this has happened in collaboration with the Government of India, because we do recognize that let's say in software we have people working on cutting edge technology, some ideas, some coding they have done. Now, unless they have some lab and some center of excellence where they can go and test these ideas on a test bench, And many of these softwares which are required for testing, whether it's are licensed and are licensed at a very high value. So we are providing a place where whether it's the software engineers, whether it's the hardware design engineers, for the like I shared with you, the Center of Excellence in ASIC design in hardware, electronics hardware design, come up with again a Government of India body, which is the Semiconductor Lab, that is the Department of Space. So both these initiatives are with the help of the Government of India, and they are very essential for helping startups take their products from the prototype stage to the marketing and scale it up to mass manufacture and scale up to a new level. So we are very grateful to Government of India for helping us and moving hand to hand and giving the necessary funds for setting up of such centers. Others also I shared with you earlier, we are coming up in Center of Excellence for ESDM design and IT in agri-tech, again with Government of India support.
Thank you so much, sir. So the second question would be, you talked about the 100 crore fund which has been set up by the state government. Can you, sir, shed some more light on that fund in specific?
Yeah, that is a fund which has been set up in the Punjab Technical University, a Government of Punjab aided university under the Department of Technical Education. This fund will have an initial corpus of 25 crores, and they have set up certain limits, and they have a governing body wherein startups all over the Punjab can apply to them for some kind of a seed grant, maybe 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, even up to they can go up to 50 lakhs, and there's a higher body which can approve of that limit. And this would be in the form of a soft loan, which of course the body will keep on monitoring at various levels to see that the funds are being actually used for the purpose of development of the startup product, whether it's a product or services which this startup is developing. So we have a oversight committee also by the government, which we will oversee that this fund is being used for the maximum benefit of the startups. And another fund, in fact, which I shared with you earlier, this Punjab Innovation Fund, which is a privately run fund, which is going to come up, which will take the story from the startup after the initial stage, after the angel funding, after the seed funding, to the next level, the VC funding of various stages, stage 2, stage 3, and all those levels. So this will be big time investments by various international bodies and great funding agencies. So this was something which was missing in Punjab earlier, and we are very happy and excited about this also happening, because startups which are at a particular level, which are of course beyond the seed funding level, but require big time funding to jump onto the national and international level, they will be getting support and help from this 150 crore privately led fund.
Thank you so much, sir. And any initiative to help development, R&D, and working on latest technologies Punjab government has for its startups?
I think I've covered that to some extent. That whether it's AI, machine learning, and other things, we are having these centers of excellence in the startup hub in IIT Ropar in technology collaboration with Taiwan for semiconductors, for defense technologies, for various other cutting-edge technologies, nanotechnologies. We are having, the Nanotechnology Institute in Mohali. So all these institutes are working on, subatomic, level technologies, which are, really cutting edge. And I'm sure we would have many products which would be of immense value to the country and the state in future times to come. Because like I shared with you earlier, nowhere in the country we are having, this ASIC ICs being manufactured anywhere in the country. This semiconductor lab had the opportunity, and they have had the privilege of having supplied equipment to even the CERN experiment in Europe, Geneva. They have supplied equipment even to the Chandrayaan experiment, the Chandrayaan mission to the moon. So we are really having wonderful things happening here. We would really like to, through the Startup India, invite and welcome all startups working in such areas to please come to Punjab, wherever they may be. We would be even happy to help them in terms of technical support if they are working in such areas.
Thank you so much, sir, and thanks a lot for the kind invitation. And I would like to thank you again once again, sir. Understanding about states, several initiatives, and more importantly, their execution across various pillars, especially incubation support, is just phenomenal. And we invite all our friends from all across the ecosystem to feel free to reach out to Dipender sir or us for connecting on a deeper understanding on any particular initiative. With this, we wrap up our today's session and we look forward to a series of such super exciting presentation on state startup ecosystem in days to come. Once again, thank you so much, Dipender sir, and the entire team of Startup Punjab for the presentation today. And many thanks to all of our friends and viewers for tuning in. Goodbye and have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Chat. Again, from Startup Cell Punjab, myself, my colleague Hadeep ji here, and other members of the Startup Cell. Thank you a lot, and Startup India team for helping, give us this opportunity for, sharing the startup ecosystem journey in Punjab.